Hey everybody, this is Klaus from Plant-Based News, and today we're going to be looking at 10 amazing transformations on a plant-based diet. Not just on the outside and the physical, but also on the inside. So let's get right into the video. I hope you enjoy. Number 10 is a bit of a unique one as it's filled by two people, Nina and Randa. Despite being vegan since birth, the pair underwent significant emotional and physical changes on a vegan diet as a result of the problems they had with their skin.
I had horrible, severe cystic acne, and I tried everything to get rid of it, and the only thing that worked was changing my diet. My sister and I shared our story, and people wanted to know what we ate, and other people started following our advice. We'd get comments and emails all the time saying, "Wow, I took your advice. My skin is clear, thank you so much."
Coming in at number 9 is the lesser known but equally amazing Josh Lajowny. This guy has perhaps the most shocking weight loss story of anybody in the list.
My name's Josh Lajowny. I'm from Thibodaux, Louisiana. And over the last, say, 2.5, 3 years or so, I've lost about between 200 and 220 pounds.
I was actually going back to school as a non-traditional student. Senior year, I knew that I was gonna have to get it on a stage in front of people and give this business presentation with a suit on. And not only was I 10 years older than everyone, but I was also 200 pounds heavier than everyone. And so that's really the last sort of spark that just kind of sent me over the edge. I've got to do something. Stop worrying and let's start doing.
Josh switched to a plant-based diet and found his way into becoming an athlete.
And there he is on the cover of Runner's World. Think about that, he used to be 400 pounds. Look at him.
Change can be made, and if it can be made in one person, it can be made in an army of people.
Josh even started a Facebook group which has inspired countless other obesity sufferers and is a very outspoken advocate for the animals. At spot number 8 is a hip-hop superstar I'm sure you all know, musician, actor and newly initiated V-Gang member will.i.am.
What made me switch was I went to the doctor and he said I had high cholesterol and high blood pressure. He told me he was going to give me some pills to bring it down. And I'm like, why pills though? Why can't you give me a regimen on what to eat and what not to eat? And then he says, well, you can't really trust the nutrition world, as if I'm supposed to trust the FDA. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get control of my life and I don't wanna have to take medicine for something that I could self-medicate. There's a difference between how I feel now and how I felt 12 months ago. I like how I feel. I like that both nostrils work. I like that I don't have to do that every time I speak. I don't have nasal drip. I like the fact that I don't have acid reflux, that I don't feel bloated all the time. I like my life right now.
The Black Eyed Peas member made headlines early this year when he took to social media with a rapid-fire promotion of veganism that hasn't stopped since.
I'm militant vegan, which is like, vegan.
Coming in at number 7 is social media icon and partner to pro bodybuilder Nimai Delgado. Her name is Bianca Taylor.
They're such peaceful creatures and I love them so much. I felt guilty. I was just like, how much meat and chicken am I gonna eat when there's other countries that are starving?
While she got into fitness before she went vegan, her transformation in a plant-based diet has been amazing.
You're gonna be surprised at the positive effects on your body. That's gonna give you more energy. It's gonna help with a lot with your skin. I felt like my hair became a lot thicker. And another thing that you may notice that happened to me and happens to a lot of my clients is that you'll start to lose cravings for junk food and soda and things that are really unnecessary because you're going to be getting all of the nutrients that your body needs.
Before long, she transformed into an outspoken animal rights advocate and fitness star. If you haven't checked her out on social media, you really need to. Next on our list, in spot number 6, is another remarkable vegan woman in fitness, marathon runner Fiona Oakes.
Slightly before my teenage years, I developed a problem with my knee. I was in and out of hospital, 17 operations. I eventually lost my kneecap. I was told I wouldn't walk again properly, let alone be able to do sporting activities, especially things like running. I was going to be registered disabled at one point because it looked so hopeless. That was an incredibly challenging time. Definitely know what it's like to suffer myself, so I can relate to it with other beings, whether they be human or not. know how far I can push myself, and I'm prepared to take it for myself, but not for anything else. I am trying to do something positive with my running. I'm not just out eyeing up a trophy or thinking I need to get my time down. I'm doing this with a reason, and it isn't any of those things.
While Fiona has been vegan since she was a child, she experienced an extraordinary transformation fueled by a drive to help animals. On top of all of this, Fiona now owns her own animal sanctuary where she works tirelessly every day to help the 400 animals in her care. In spot number 5 is a person nearly impossible to miss in the vegan YouTube scene, Hannah Howlett of High Carb Hannah. The most obvious part of her transformation is her weight loss, but Hannah's changed in many ways. For example, she switched to an ultra-sustainable off-grid lifestyle with her husband Derek.
I also live in a tiny house that is 200 square feet. We're not connected to city electrical, city sewer, or city water. So we have rainwater catchment, solar energy, and we compost everything.
In spot number 4 is ultra-fit YouTuber Derek Simnat of Simnat Nutrition. Similarly to hugely popular vegan bodybuilders such as John Venus and Nimai Delgado, Derek has been able to build serious muscle on a vegan diet, but his story is a bit of a unique one.
I've been vegan for a few years. I was a runner. I loved doing trail running. I was really lean, and I kept getting the same feedback from people. They were like, hey, this might work for you. I get that. I'm sure there's some benefits to the vegan diet, but I like to have some muscle. I need those gains. I like to look a little bit more manly. So I quickly realized if I want to change some opinions, I'm definitely going to have to put on some muscle.
In just 2 short years, he transformed from a super lean cardio athlete to the ultra muscular strength trainer we see promoting the vegan lifestyle today.
So I kept the momentum going, and here we are a few years later. A year ago, I started adding more weights to my workouts, and I've reached a potential that I didn't think was possible for me.
In spot number 3, we have the extraordinary and highly unique vegan maven known to most simply as Chef AJ.
For over 50 years, I was either overweight or obese, suffered from emotional eating and severe food addiction. I had been starving myself for so long that once I started eating, I literally could not stop. I became so depressed that I attempted suicide.
But hope wasn't lost for Chef AJ, and she eventually transformed her life. Having completely transformed her life, Chef AJ has gone on to inspire countless others to do the same and is a very outspoken vegan activist.
I don't know how you do it. I can't sleep at night knowing the amount of animals that are being tortured and abused, and until every cage and every animal laboratory, until every factory farm is shut down, I'm going to keep doing this, because for every delicious recipe I create, if one person eats one vegan meal, it's one less animal that's being killed, and that's why I do it.
In spot number 2 is a massively popular person I'm sure you're all aware of, ultra endurance athlete Rich Roll. A recovering alcoholic, Rich found himself hitting rock bottom in his early 30s.
I mean, not only did I become alienated from my friends and family and unemployable and one step away from homeless, really just disconnected from who I was as a person. I woke up one day and I was like, I've had enough. I'm ready to go to rehab. I ended up staying for 100 days.
Unhappy and overweight, Rich began an incredible transformation at the age of 40. In spot number 1 is someone who may be a little bit unexpected, but who's shown perhaps the most amazing transformation of them all. A passionate, ethical vegan, animal activist, and friend to many, Joey Carbstrong.
So there was the longest time in the last 12 years that I'd been sober for. When I got out, I was on parole. I was forced to be sober. About a month of being out, I always had this seed planted in my head about veganism. I was having a conversation with my mum about smoking. You shouldn't be smoking, you know, I thought I was this beacon of light since I'd been forced to be sober. And I was criticising her, and she said, you know, there's a lot of vices people have that they don't change. And when she said that, I reflected. And when I reflected, I thought, you know, I've always known that it's hypocritical of me to say that I care about animals, but, you know, there's this piece of a cow who'd probably suffered greatly, been bolt gunned in the head on my plate. And I changed right there and then. I changed spontaneously. The next day I went full vegan, and that was the beginning of my activist journey. When I found out the truth, I had to say something about it. I had to say, like, look what's happening to these animals, you know? I couldn't stay silent while this injustice was happening. It's just not me. It's not me. There's no humane or right way of doing it. It just shouldn't be done whatsoever. Every animal should just be free to live a happy life, and that's it. They should just exist for the reason of existing. The good thing to know is that we have power in what happens to these animals in our life, so you can stop the cruelty in your life, and the only way to do that is by going vegan. It's not about animal cruelty, it's about animal use. They're slaves at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. We use them for our pleasure, and we don't need to, it's unnecessary. We're just trying to show compassion, you know, in a world that doesn't care about animals, you know. Mm. Animals would save themselves if they could. If you eat suffering and death, it becomes you. If everyone does what they can, then we will slowly create a movement. And once we get a movement, right, once the ball starts rolling, it will start snowballing, and we'll reach a tipping point sooner or later. It might not be in my lifetime, but the groundwork will be done. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let us know who you wish you'd seen on the list in the comments below. If you're wondering what this is behind me, it's obviously a green screen thanks to Last Vegan Productions. They've got a channel, I'll link it down below. I was actually on their show talking about plant-based news and Sean and stuff. Subscribe for more. See you soon.